If you like the CUKTECH20, you're gonna like the CUKTECH20. This is the external battery I have here. A battery that for just a little more money will offer us 25,000 mAh of capacity with peak power up to 210 W. That's just insane. The CUKTECH20 gives us more capacity and in my opinion has a much better design. A design measuring 16 cm tall with a 5 cm square base. With a design built on this transparent plate, which even lets us see the cells hidden inside. I'll show you the screen in more detail later. A design in gray and black with the letters in a very light blue, which gives it an interesting electric touch. With 3 ports on top, 2 USB-C and 1 USB-A. The front screen is 1.54 inches, roughly an inch and a half. And it's going to give us information about the charge percentage, the power, volts, and amps that each of the ports is outputting or receiving. We'll also have a second screen showing a graph of the battery's power flow, which you'll see during the shots. How does this battery work? Honestly, it's very visual and quite geeky. I like electricity. It's great to see all these values. The battery's packaging is very well done. From CUKTECH, it comes with a small travel pouch that's super cute. Honestly, it's an amazing detail that it comes with this protection and makes it so easy to take on trips. It also comes with a USB-C to USB-C charging cable that lets us take advantage of the 210 watts peak power or charging at 120 watts. Finally, when we turn on the screen or are charging or discharging the battery, we'll have a luminous LED bar that will indicate the battery's power output or input. It creates an animation that looks really cool. You'll see it in the shots, right? The size is similar to that of a can of Coca-Cola, the typical Coca-Cola cans, which are pretty long. Well, it's more or less that style. It's true that it's a big battery, but later you'll see how many devices it lets us charge at the same time and how many times. As you can see, it's about the size of my hand, making it comfortable to carry, easy to hold, and lightweight. So it's true that maybe it won't fit in your pants pocket, but it will fit in a bag, a coat, or a backpack. Ultimately, I think that's what we'll remember most. For a laptop, a tablet, or several devices, like I was saying, we have 210 W of peak power. However, the maximum it can deliver through one of its ports, which will be USB-C 1, is 140 W. This will allow, for example, laptops that consume this amount of power. Then we have the second USB-C port, which will give us between 45 and 60 W depending on the device, and the USB-A port, which can provide up to 30 W of power. However, when we combine them, for example, all 3 together, each USB-C port provides 45 W, while the USB-A port offers 30. If we use both USB-C and USB-A together, each will provide 45 W and 30 W independently. For all of you who want to fly with this battery, you should know that it contains between 88 and 90 watt-hours of capacity, which makes it suitable to take on any type of airplane. And you also have to keep in mind that this is 25,000 mAh of capacity. Not all of it is usable, only about 75% can actually be used. I explained this in the previous CUKTECH20 video. Watch it if you haven't. External batteries never provide their full advertised capacity. This is the cell's capacity, but it's not fully usable. Using all of it would kill the cells and make them unusable. Also, I think it's great that it has a low current mode for those devices that use very little power, like AirPods or earphones. Those small ones for your ears? Why is this used? Well, it's used because they consume such a low current. If we don't let the battery know, it would detect it as residual current and wouldn't even start charging these devices. So, we have to indicate it by double-clicking the button on the front now. A key part of a battery is its cells, which must be high quality. The cells in these batteries are made up of the same cells that are also used in the automotive industry. Cells that are made to charge and discharge very quickly, cells that are made to last. They can withstand more than 500 cycles with the assurance of still having 80% of their original capacity remaining. So these are very good batteries or cells, high quality, that will last us a long time, so they're not those kinds of low quality cells. The kind that after 4 charges, you notice they're not working right. This battery will let us charge a little more than once. For example, my MacBook Pro can be charged 4 times, and an iPhone 14 or a tablet can be charged twice. It's not unlimited energy, but it's a significant battery if it can charge a laptop. We already have good capacity. The charge now allows 100%. That means we'll be able to get 40% in 19 minutes. Sorry, I can't show you this because I don't have a charger with this power at home right now, so I use the iPad's charger instead. It has 20 watts and you'll see on the screen it's charging at that rate. But enough with the technical details, let's see how this CUKTECH20 works. The operation of this CUKTECH20 is really simple. You'll see how it works when we connect several devices at the same time. Right now, if we touch the screen, we see that it's at 100%. I have my MacBook Pro here, a camera stabilizer, and an iPad ready. Let's start with the MacBook Pro, which is currently at 30% battery. You can see that it's already starting to charge, and right now it's providing about 80 watts of power. That's the charging limit for this MacBook Pro. Also, I'm going to plug the camera stabilizer into the other USB-C port to charge it. On the screen, we can see that it's consuming around 18 watts, and it stabilizes there. And we're also going to plug in this iPad I have down here. This iPad through the USB-A port is going to consume around 12 watts. Right now, the battery is outputting 110 watts, which is impressive, and it tells us that at this rate, it would last 49 minutes. Obviously, we're putting a lot of load on it, but still, we're powering some devices that are consuming quite a lot of power for about 50 minutes. Then, very interesting, here we can see the battery percentage dropping in real time, and this animation showing the battery discharging here. We have all the data, voltage, amperes, and watts for each device. As you can see, each device has a different voltage. The laptop is at 20 volts, the stabilizer at 12 volts, and the iPad is charging at 5 volts. Now, if we give it a little more, we'll see this power output graph. As you can see, it's in blue. For example, if I disconnect the iPad now, you'll see the graph drop a bit, and it will drop even more. If, for example, I remove the laptop, you can see how the discharge graph has dropped a lot. If we return to the main screen, you'll see, for example, we could last 5. Downloading iPad. The battery, you see that iPad is on the laptop and an incoming current shows us in orange, while for the rest it shows out in blue with that little blue graph. Tapping it again asks if we want to turn off the screen to save power. And if we go back to the main screen again, well, here we would be seeing in the end what current we're putting in, what's going out, and the current state of the device's charge. Now you're seeing the opposite case. You're seeing how long it would take to charge. Well, right now, I don't have a charger that's more powerful than the iPad's. That would be those 20 watts, which would take about 3.5 hours to charge. Of this, 35% will have a real-time estimate at all times. And well, the data for the 18-watt charging as well. 8 volts, 2.1 amps. And again, the graph, as you saw, when I unplugged all the devices, we stopped drawing power from the charger. Now we're just charging at 18 watts. Here's the key part. How much does the CUKTECH20 cost? As I mentioned, the price is only slightly higher than before. I think it's worth paying 80 euros. As of today on Amazon, you might find different offers. As always, we leave them for you in the description. And now comes the part I want to know. What are your thoughts about this power bank? A power bank that can even charge a laptop. Do you find it useful? Wouldn't you use it in your daily life? For example, to take your laptop somewhere you don't have access to a power outlet. Well, I want to know all of this down in the comments, where I'll be reading and responding to you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, leave a like and see you next time. Take care.